Well, welcome back to Theoretical Nonsense. Today we're going to be discussing Season 5, Episode 18, The Werewolf Transformation. And we are talking the rate that hair grows, if coma patients can actually hear you, and astronaut training. Stay tuned. Welcome to Theoretical Nonsense, the Big Bang Theory watch-along podcast. No PhD required.
We're the podcast that recaps all the episodes of The Big Bang Theory. No spoilers.
So hop into your favorite spot.
Make yourself a grasshopper
And enjoy the ride. Ahoy, Ryan.
Ahoy, Rob.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Fantastic, because I'm ready to talk the werewolf transformation. How'd you like this episode?
I liked it pretty well. I think the only major moving forward thing was that Howard is going to NASA. Everything else was kind of, no major character development, but we see some more interaction with Sheldon and Penny, and that's always a fun time. I thought there were some funny jokes in it. Not my favorite episode, but definitely an entertaining episode.
Yeah, I guess it would be the A plot is Sheldon's haircut, which honestly I wasn't super into. I thought it was a little foolish and kind of like whatever and everything, but I have a lot to say about that later as we go on with the episode. But Howard's plotline I loved everything about Howard's plotline.
There was a scene in it where it's like, I watched it, I'm like, this is why I'm watching this show. Like, this is epic. And I laughed really hard at it, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, just like, wow, him trying to power through it and be positive when it's just a nightmare. But he's just trying so hard to be like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I love this. I really do.
And he keeps that smile on. He's smiling. I go, that's great. I have to say, too, that at one point, I don't even remember what point it was, I was watching this on Vudu because I own the series. It's Fandango now. It's funny. I called it Vudu for so long, and I still use the URL vudu.com, and it's Fandango digital services now where you can rent movies or buy them. And
that's what Fandango is now?
Yep, it's you can do like movie tickets, but they have like a streaming service as well for that they bought out Vudu and stuff.
I haven't heard that term in such a Fandango.
They've changed. They've tried to keep up with the times. And
there's a wild Fandango on the loose. I still remember that commercial. Anybody else out there? Or are we just old?
We're just old. Somebody. Oh,
anybody, send us a message. Just please. We're not alone, right?
But yeah, I try to not buy too much on there, but I get some good deals sent to me, and like sometimes I'm like, I just want a service so I can download it, or if I stop subscribing, I can still watch it for some of my favorite movies. Or if I get digital copies, because I do buy a lot of physical medium. I like having physical medium. If it comes with a digital thing, it connects with that. But I got Big Bang Theory on this, just in case I stop subscribing to, I think it's on HBO now, that I have it, that I can download it, and I can backtrack. I like owning it. But also I know that if they go out of business, like I could lose it all at any time. It's really terrifying. That's what happened with Redbox, right? That Redbox went out and anybody who owned anything on it was just gone. Like nothing.
Poor Redbox. I loved Redbox. I hate this new video game system that they have. Was it Gamefly? Hate it. I know I've gone on a huge tangent in the past, like a couple of years ago on this podcast about it, but I hate it. Just put that on the record, everyone. Go ahead. I hate Gamefly.
But I was watching it on Vudu, and something like froze up, and they stopped talking. And I like reloaded the site and went back to it, and it took me a while to realize, longer than you would like, a good like 5 to 10 seconds. Something was wrong with the audio, and I thought Sheldon was just talking weird, but it was like deep and slow. It's like, I'm getting my hair cut. I'm like, what the fuck is the point of this? And then I realized like it was not matching up with his mouth and something was wrong, and I had to reload it like 3 more times, and it finally caught back up and he was talking normal. But I'm like, is this him turning into the werewolf? Like, oh, I'm a werewolf. Like, it was really weird experience. But I wanted to share that with everybody that things got a little weird while I watched it. So.
Yeah, I watched this a few times, and I don't think I actually they usually have a reference to the title of the episode, but I don't think they used the term werewolf, did they? Did you catch that?
I don't think they did. It was just that he was growing hair and we were supposed to connect it, but they, as far as I could tell, they did not mention werewolf. Like,
okay, not good. Not just me. All right.
I thought they were going to say like, oh, you look like a werewolf, you look like a shaggy dog or something, but I didn't pick up on anything. Or at least
transforming into like a beast or something. I don't know, something like that. But instead, he calls himself a teen heartthrob.
Yeah.
Should have been called the Teen Heartthrob transformation. Jeez. What were you thinking, Chuck Lorre?
Chuck.
All right. No new emails, no new reviews, but we like emails. Shoot us an email at theoreticalnonsensepod@gmail.com and we will read it out loud. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's easy. Just scroll down on your app and just click that 5 stars. If you write something nice, we'll give you a shout out. We're also on YouTube at Theoretical Nonsense. Like and subscribe. So housekeeping is done. So I think we could just get started.
Just jump right into it. Okay.
Yeah.
So season 5, episode 18, we're like, it's weird that we're almost in the 20s. And how many episodes are in this season? It's always usually about 20 to 24, right? So
yeah, so I actually have it written down because for my notes.
We're getting there.
This goes up to 524. Yep. Cool. So yeah, we're getting up there.
Cool. So title, Werewolf Transformation, aired date February 23rd, 2012. Directed by Mark Sandrowski. Writers Bill Prady, Stephen Milaro, and Jim Reynolds. And we start off at the barber. Leonard is dropping Sheldon off and saying, oh, I'm going to the store, I'll be back. And Sheldon says that he would really likes it if Leonard stays. So he's kind of childish there, but a barber comes out, and I looked this up, guest star Peter Onorati, as in his, I guess his name is Angelo. And he's been in a lot of single episodes of stuff. I didn't really recognize him for anything. Some shows, I think there's one called SWAT that he's been in a lot of that I've never seen before. He's been in 12 episodes of This Is Us. I know the show, but I've never seen it. But
you
one
should
thing
watch that show. It's good. So good. We've talked about this before. Again, if you don't cry, you're not human. Every episode is such a tearjerker. It's so good, though. Like, the writing is so good. You just connect with the characters, and then you just start feeling what they feel. And then if you don't cry, you're not human. There's something wrong with you.
I may have started this one. Is this the one with what's her name? Is it Mandy Moore?
Mandy Moore?
Yeah, is she in it? Okay. Yeah. I watched an episode or two, and it's one that like kind of dropped off my radar just because ADD. I got sidetracked. I'm like, it's new shiny show I need to watch. But
I do think it is something that deserves full attention. It's not really something that you could just watch in the background.
While I'm biking or walking or something, did you recognize him from that? Or
I did. Yep, that's how. It's the only. I went through his super long IMDb resume, and this was the only thing that I recognized him from.
He was one thing I didn't recognize him from it, but I want to next year when I watch it. He was apparently uncredited in Scrooged with Bill Murray. And I love that movie. I watch it every year or every other year at least. It's just, if you don't know it, it's a retelling of A Christmas Carol, but Bill Murray is like a TV executive, and he's very, very mean, and he has to visit the like 3 ghosts of Christmas, right? Christmas past, Christmas present, Christmas future, and he's Bill Murray doing Bill Murray things, and that's always a fun time. So I'm curious if I can find him, but if he's uncredited, he's probably somebody in the background, but I'm still really curious. But goddamn, I love that movie. I remember watching it as a kid and like not understanding everything because some of it's like kind of adult, but I'm like 5 years old and like
When you're
Bill
younger,
Murray's funny.
it
Ghostbusters.
got a little scary. Like sometimes with the cab driver, then when you see the ghost of the future and everything. I remember as a kid, it was pretty scary.
He's got like demons under his robe, right? Or they're like monster kid type things. And it's kind of, and the cab driver, like I still remember that cab driver. Every now and then I pick up, I'm like, this is like the cab from Scrooge, and people are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, just watch it. It's a good movie. So Sheldon's barber, Mr. D'Onofrio, is in the hospital. He's really, really sick, and we'll see later he's actually in a coma. The other barber, Mr. D'Onofrio's nephew, offers to cut Sheldon's hair, but Sheldon only wants his usual barber. He is not comfortable with somebody new. Sheldon explains that his mom sent Mr. D'Onofrio all of his haircut records when Sheldon first moved to town, and that's why he trusts him, because he has all of his haircut records. Leonard explains there's no such things as haircut records, but Sheldon won't believe him. Leonard tries to convince him to just get a haircut, and I did laugh at this. He goes, it's number 3 up there on the poster from 1946. So it's a very basic haircut that's always been around. The other guy can do it. Leonard, where is it? I guess Sheldon sits down, and immediately the barber starts telling him a story about his kid. And that's enough. And we've heard Sheldon complain before about hearing stories about people's kids. What was it? Like there was a bumper sticker saying, ask about my kid's GPA or something. And he's like, I couldn't park by them.
Or something
Ask about my grandkids. And he parked somewhere else. So he immediately pops up and runs. And Leonard says to the barber that when you're telling the story later on, we usually use the word quirky. And that's the intro scene. So the barber is looking at him kind of...
I did look up something, but it's not a full IQ point. It was Sheldon's reference to "This is the way the world ends."
Oh, T.S. Eliot?
Yeah, not with the bang, but with the nephew. Because I've never really heard that before, because I'm not really into poetry or anything like that. But
it's supposed to be but with a whimper, right? Or something?
Yes, but not with a bang, but with a whimper. So I actually did go back and read his poem, because I've never read it before. And yeah, poetry is just definitely not my thing.
Which poem was it?
The Hollow Man.
The Hollow Man.
The Hollow Men.
I
did actually listen to a reading of it by what's his name? Jeremy Irons. That was really good reading, though. He reads the hell out of it.
I had to take a graduate class in grad school on it was a mix of T.S. Eliot and Virginia Woolf for a semester, and they're not my cup of tea. I've heard that I should give Virginia Woolf another try outside of academic studies, and I've heard T.S. Eliot will grow on me, and I don't hate all this stuff, but it's definitely a little bit maybe deeper than I like to get. I don't, it's a little bit, it's interesting, and I can pull some interesting meaning out of it and some cool thoughts and concepts, but it takes a lot of thought and processing to get anything out of it.
Yes, they took a lot of thought process. That's why I'm not making an IQ point, because after I read it a couple of times, I thought about it and then I stopped.
And it took me a second. I almost did an IQ point, but I'm like, you know what? That is T.S. Eliot, but I get that one confused with I believe it's Robert Frost's poem that says, "Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice." And for some reason, I thought those were the same poem. And I just did a quick look. I'm like, oh, it is T.S. Eliot's poem, but it was. I do like Robert Frost a lot more. I feel like his stuff is more accessible and it's still really beautiful, but T.S. Eliot is it's something. I was gonna say that's what it was. I didn't realize this until I think grad school, but do you know the musical Cats?
Yeah.
Wasn't Taylor Swift in the movie version?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch it? I never watched it.
I saw scenes and I'm good. I've never even seen the musical.
I saw the musical when I was a kid and I enjoyed it. I'm not really a fan of Cats, but I thought the musical was okay. But apparently it is based on T.S. Eliot poems. he has a chapbook of like, what is it, the peculiar case of cats or something, I don't know. But all the poems, or each song is like a poem from the book, so it is based on him. I guess he was a fun guy, but some of the stuff is hard to process. It's not easy reading. There we go.
Well, this poem is just so sad and melancholic. Like after reading, I was like, ugh, I need a candy bar now.
That's the one that sticks out to me. What was it? I don't know why I'm blanking on it, but I wrote a whole paper on it. But for some reason, I'm whenever I think of T.S. Eliot, it's I always picture a guy eating peaches and dying. He's like, do I eat peaches? Do the mermaids cry for me? I will die alone, and then wake and then die. And it's like, wow, this is at least I hope you enjoy that peach. That's all I got there. Man, I can't remember. It's not The Wasteland. It's something else. Oh wow, I'll probably think of it in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's just depressing. From what I recall, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, in summation of this, like, why I brought it up was like I was actually shocked that Sheldon's even into poetry. I'm shocked that he even knew, like, or even cared.
You know, now that you mentioned that, it did strike me like that's kind of odd that he's the one bringing up the poem, T.S. Eliot. So
I'm sure he had like read it in high school or something, and he just his eidetic memory just like kicked in or something like that. But I was like, well, it's a little shocking that he's quoting poetry.
If I remember correctly, this is around the time of like World War I and leading into World War II and nuclear arms and a whole push for like, what's the point of living if everybody's just fighting and killing themselves and we can blow ourselves up at any minute? And so there's like a whole generation of literature. It's very melancholy like that. Like, woe is me. Because yeah, whoa. Okay, so we're or anything else about the poem?
Nope, that's it. Not calling it an IQ point, but just something that kind of stuck out.
You know, I had a couple later that I'm not sure if they're full IQ points. We'll talk about it later because I don't think they're full IQ points, but stuff that stuck out to me too. We have the intro, then we have the apartment, and the gang is eating Italian food. And Sheldon asks for the cheese, Parmesan, and he keeps like blowing hair out of his eyes. But it's only been a day, so his hair is not really all that long, but he's making a big deal out of it. Like, oh, it's all over, it's wild, it's in my face. And Howard brings up that he's gotten his travel papers from NASA. And Raj is like, this is really cool. You have to be there at 8 a.m. And Howard makes a big deal. It's not 8 a.m., it's 0800 hours. And Raj is like, it says 8 a.m. I think if it says 8 a.m., you say 8 a.m. You don't, mix and match. And Howard says that you're just jealous, right? He's trying to rub it in. Penny brings up that she could cut Sheldon's hair. And Sheldon mocks her. He says that they don't churn their own butter. They don't cut each other's hair. This is the big city, or this isn't. Yeah, this is a city. And he claims that he's being rude because of his bad boy attitude that's coming with his uncut hair. So yeah, he's transforming not into a werewolf, but into a emo teen, right?
Yeah, okay, so an asshole.
An asshole. There you go.
Well, I do want to give a shout out to Penny on this one because her facial reactions just to him saying all that mean stuff. Even though I feel like she's partially breaking too, possibly. Kaylee Kuko, she could have been breaking ever so slightly because it is kind of funny, but at the same time, I do feel like Penny would have giggled at his comment on him being mean like that because she's just so used to him being like that just like, oh, Sheldon being Sheldon. So I do kind of want to give her a shout out that I do like her facial expressions in that moment.
There's another moment later where I think she might be breaking character a little bit, but still her facial expression, like I made a note of it, like she cracked me up, like seeing her face to his response later on. So there's a couple, and I like it when I see in shows like characters or actors working with each other and enjoying each other's acting. So shout out because it's funny. Raj recommends his or wait, where was I? yeah, Raj comes out and says, I have a guy who can cut your hair. It's a place that brings you tea. It costs about $200, but sometimes you get sit down and you see a superstar next to you, like Tony Danza. And Howard asks how they changed the conversation from space to haircuts. And Raj says, who's jealous now? So he's jealous now because Raj has seen Tony Danza and they're talking about haircuts. I was going to ask, thoughts on haircuts? How much do you think you should pay? What type of place do you look for? I've been to places that give me beer, and I do enjoy that, but they're never like, I've been to places that give me beer, but they don't give me beer every time, and I don't like asking, like, can I have my beer now? Like, that makes me look like I'm an alcoholic getting a haircut, not that I want to enjoy the experience. I've been to places that give me massages, but it seems like that's really, if I get a different person, the massage sometimes like really sucks, and it seems really half-hearted, like they hate doing it, and then I feel guilty and I don't enjoy it. And it doesn't guarantee a good haircut. I've been to cheap places, and some of my best haircuts ever have been at like a Superstar, Super Sports, or whatever. And the person disappears, and I'll never hear from them again. And so it's just luck of the draw. I think right now I'm paying about $100 for a beard cut, haircut, and it lasts me about 3 to 4 months because they cut it pretty short and then I let it grow out, kind of uneven and kind of windswept as it grows out. But I like it just fine. They don't give me a massage, they don't give me a beer, and maybe I'm okay with that. Although I wouldn't mind tea or something. How about you?
So I have a very interesting relationship with haircuts just in general. So I grew up with my mom doing it. So for the longest time, it's always been free. It was like once a month, maybe earlier, or every 2 months or something like that. It's like you said, you cut it short and then like you just let it grow out. I never liked getting a haircut. I still don't particularly like getting a haircut. It's just one of those things, like, it's just something that's like, ugh, fine, let's just get this over with. I'm married to a hairstylist.
So, there you go.
So she cuts my hair for free. So so basically I've gone this very long stretch of life where I just got haircuts for free. And I just happen to have this style where I need it cut very often. So in that small section of time when I wasn't getting a haircut, or when I had to pay for a haircut, I was just going to like super cheap places like Supercuts or Sports Clips or something like that, where it's like $20 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And even that was too much for me, just because you're so used to not paying and then you have to pay for it. Like, that's weird. So I found this little place really close to where I lived in Renton. It was like this little like Vietnamese place, and they did it for like $11.
Oh shit!
And yeah, it was even cheaper. I was like, hell yeah! And they did a decent job because I just wanted it cut the sides, trim the top, whatever.
Yeah.
So then they kind of learn gradually that the less that they talk to me and the faster they go, the more I tip. So it just turned into this nice business transaction, like once a month or every couple of weeks or something like that. But then once I got with Christina, she started cutting my hair. And that's where like everything kind of changed, because I didn't realize how terrible my hair really was, because we were just trying to keep it short, but then Christina actually styled it, and it was like, oh my God, this is what could happen with my hair. So I understand why people why you charge like $100. Like her going, I think her standard was like 100, but by the time that she ended her career, like $100 a hair. I think it might have been a little bit more. But I think it might have been 100 for guys, but like women was like upwards of like 150 or close to 200 or something like that. But then like once you see like what hair does to a person, it changes everything. So now it's like, wow, I have a much greater appreciation, because like even people in our friend group was like, whoa, Rob, what the hell? You look amazing. It's like, oh yeah, I guess I should have been paying for a nicer haircut. which segues into me talking a little bit of shit about Raj's stylist, because what the fuck? If you're going to charge $200, that's the haircut that you're going to give him?
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. I always think about Howard's, but I think Howard probably has his mom cut it, right? I don't think they said that, but I assume.
Yeah. But it's like, Raj, if you're paying all this money to talk to a hairstylist, you'd think that, and it's a guy, so chances are he's probably gay, and you'd think that he'd just take one look at Raj and be like, dude, what's up with the outfit? What's up with the hair? Come on, guy. Let's do that. Like, let's fix you up and everything.
And, you know, you can't assume, but I do say that it seems like stylists, salons, the guys typically charge more there and are typically gay, and barbers tend to be more straight and charge like $20. So I would assume if he's paying $200, he's probably on the salon end, and it's probably somebody who knows and actually wants or cares about the styling. I feel like barbers I go to are like, I'll do whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care what you look like. They're really straightforward, and you know that's good too sometimes.
I'll give you what you want. There we go.
Did I tell you this? One time I went to a salon in Nebraska, and I was wanting a haircut like Matt Bateman. Is that his name? Bateman? The guy from Arrested Development.
Oh, Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman, that's his name. Jason Bateman. And for some reason, I got him confused with Steve Carell. And she gave me a 40-year-old version haircut. I'm like, oh, fucking hey. I made it work.
Oh, my God.
I'll ask my ex if she has any pictures of that, but I walked out very not happy. I'm like, that was not who I wanted, and she should have stopped me. I paid, it was like $60 for that haircut, so it wasn't horrible. It was still 3 months of my life growing that shit out. I'm like, why would she think I wanted to look like a 40-year-old version?
No, I wanted The Office season 6. That's what I wanted.
Oh man, I should have. That was a good lesson to always bring in a picture and know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, when I'm alone for like 2 months this summer, I thought about this. It's like, crap, I'm gonna have to go to a place. This sucks.
I was gonna say,
I get haircuts every 2 weeks. Just like sometimes it's just like the sides, like just trim the sides, just keep it short, fade it.
Does she give you a beer or a massage with it, or is it just
nope.
down to business?
Honestly, even with my wife, I'm like, let's just do this. Let's just get her done. Just don't talk. And she is so weirded out because, like, you know, as a hairstylist, part of her, like 50% of her job is building that relationship with her customer. So she's so used to like doing the haircut with a full conversation. And I'm just like stone face quiet. Just like, don't talk to me. Just business. Like I just need this checked off my list.
I get really nervous that I'm going to talk and they're going to mess something up and it's going to be my fault. I get stressed out. So I would rather be quiet too. And I want to know it's okay to be quiet. Like I'm not being quiet because I dislike you. But it's all focus. My dad says that barbers are like worse than dentists for him because of the awkward conversations. Like, I don't know what to do. So I think this is a common sentiment. I'm reminded of, I think we've talked about it before, but have you seen the episode of Pete and Pete with the barber?
I probably did, but it's been so long.
I'm pretty sure the barber is played by, is it the Allstate guy, the guy from Juno, and what's that music movie but with the drummer? Whiplash.
Rainn Wilson?
No.
From The Office? Wait. Oh. I don't know, because I was thinking like there was I don't know why I was thinking Rainn Wilson.
That's
the guy who's like the commissioner now.
J.K. Simmons.
Yes, that dude's awesome.
In Spider-Man, he's the newspaper guy in Spider-Man, right?
That dude's awesome.
He I'm pretty sure he plays the barber, and like he's always quiet, and the older brother in P&P is like, I'm gonna make him have a conversation, and he is able to get him to open up, and it's like a montage, and at one point they're drinking the blue juice out of the haircut stuff, and they're partying, and like they get done and Pete's head is all fucked up, and he's like, this is why I don't talk. Wow, I don't. All right. Anything else about haircuts? That wasn't even an IQ point. I think it's funny.
No, but honestly, like I feel this way about Raj for like the rest of the series. It's like you have all these sources. You keep talking about all these things that you do for like style and everything, all the things that you pay attention to. You like all like the celebrity gossip that he pays attention to, that he likes to like follow and everything. You'd think that like a little bit of style would have, trickled on top of him. But
a little bit more, right?
No, but yeah, it's like, but no, he's just kind of caught in his own ways and everything like that. And maybe he just thinks it looks good. I mean, but
I would love to see an episode where he's at the barber asking for that. He's like, no, this is what I want.
Are you sure I can't change it? Like, no, I'm on to something.
This is something. It's coming back like hats.
But I've seen like the real guy. I forgot his name. The actor. He has great hair. Great. Mm-hmm. Even Howard has great hair.
That's something I remember looking at Howard's picture. I'm like, God damn, hair can really make a man. It changes everything.
It changes everyone. Like, don't like. I know, like, some people don't. I've met a lot of people who are just like me that don't really care about haircuts, but I'm a believer now. Like, now that I'm married to like a stylist, now I've seen it in action. Everything. It's like, don't skimp out on the haircuts. Don't be afraid to just ask your stylist for like a change. Like, don't go to the supercuts. Don't go like, this is what my wife says all the time and everything like that. It's like, this is what people should do. You need to leverage your stylist. Don't go to supercuts. Don't go to great clips. Go to like a nicer salon. And if you feel like you need a change, ask them. And like, just say, hey, what would you do? I'm a blank canvas. What would you do? And they will love that shit, because that's what they're all about. They want to style. They want to create. So anybody out there that needs like a fresh style, just do that.
I can't say I've done that a few times, and I would say 3 out of 4 times I end up with a faux hawk. And I look damn good with a faux hawk, but I think it's funny that when I've asked before, they're like, you need a faux hawk. I'm like, I'm a blank canvas, you do you. But I do. They always do a great job with it, and I think you're right that stylists know what they're talking about. They're paid for that, and they'll be able to see. And so, like, I look good. I think I haven't had one in a while, but like, it's a certain punk mentality, and I wear graphic tees and Converse or whatever, and it looks good on me, but it's. I think it's funny that I've done that a couple of times, and they do go to faux hawks because I think it looks good on my face. They know what they're talking about.
Yeah. I will say also, I don't think it's a bad idea to every 5 to 10 years, just try something new, because you don't want to be that same person that goes from your 20s to your 40s with the same hairstyle. Because I've actually seen some people at like my work and everything like that, and you could tell that they've had the same haircut for like 20 years because it's so dated right now that I'm just like, oh my God, you should.
I've had my 40-year-old virgin haircut since I was 18.
Like, Christina is actually trying to change my hair now. Like, we have to let it grow in certain ways, and she's trying to cut it strategically so it grows in certain areas. So we changed the part. I know you can't tell because I'm wearing headphones and everything like that, but like, I actually haven't. Spoiler alert! I haven't washed it in a couple of days because I'm disgusting on the weekends. But the part is going to change a little differently. It used to be here, but now it's going to be here, and then like we're going to grow it out so it's like. She even said we're gonna go for the K-pop star look. I was like, whatever, as long as you're doing it, I don't care.
You're gonna be a K-pop demon hunter.
I don't care. We are behind, and both of us need to watch that. We need to get with the time.
We were talking about this before we started the episode or the podcast, that I didn't realize it was just a movie with how big it was. I thought it was like 3 seasons or something. I go online, I'm like, where's the rest of it? Oh, it's just a movie. But I'm going to sit down and watch it within the next week because I really want to see what the hype's about. Do you know that like McDonald's did like a hamburger and milkshake or it was like flurry? Just like, wow, that's.
My ramen packs have the K-pop demon hunters on them. So it's like it's literally everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's like their songs are popping up on my playlists and everything because Spotify just throws things in. It's like, oh, what is this? It's very catchy.
It's very catchy. Oh my god, I see what it is now.
But yeah, I think we talked enough about haircuts. I'm sure people are bored of this.
It's good conversation.
I like it. I mean, yeah, it's interesting.
We're at Amy's apartment, and she is on harp playing Bon Jovi's "Wanted Dead or Alive," and she kind of keeps repeating a line, "I'm wanted, I'm wanted." And then she looks at Sheldon and says, he's ruining boyfriend-girlfriend sing-along night. So apparently that's part of their deal, is that they're going to have boyfriend-girlfriend sing-along night.
I would love to see that playlist.
Right. I'm curious where that goes. And Sheldon explains that he's having a conundrum, that he's having trouble finding a barber. And he can't do supercuts because they do men and women in the same room at the same time. Heaven forbid. Amy suggests letting his hair grow.
Have you ever actually seen a woman at a Supercuts, though? I've been to my fair share of Supercuts, and I've never seen a woman in there.
I don't think I have.
All right, ladies out there, if you go to Supercuts, please shoot us a message. We need to know.
I feel like when I was a kid, my parents took me to a place called Fantastic Sam's, and there's really, really weird thing at the front of the store. They had like this, it almost looked like a TV cabinet, and it was like a wood grain veneered cabinet thing. And at the bottom, they had like a little door that you opened up, and you opened it up, and there was nothing in there, and you close it, and you knocked, and they would throw candy down, and then you open it up, and there's candy that you could pull out if you were good during the haircut. And I remember going there, and I'm pretty sure I saw girls there while I was there. I don't know if they even did adults, just kids, but I remember Fantastic Sam's, and I remember the candy, and I remember one time kids started crying, and basically what happens to Sheldon happened to the kid. The barber messed up and fucked something up. There's like a bald spot, and they're like, come back in like 4 days and I'll help even it out and it won't look so bad. And the mom was mad, the kid was crying, and I think I went there a few more times.
4 days.
It was some weird number.
It was such a haunting experience to the guys. Like, I need to get away from you for 4 days.
Just 4 days.
Just get out of here, kid.
You would think my parents would be like, we don't want that happening to you. We'll take you somewhere else. But nope. Right back there, the next haircut. Like, yeah. So,
well, did you do anything on his the rate at which his hair is growing?
I didn't actually. I thought about it and then just kind of slipped my mind. Did you look into it?
So this is where I don't know if I can give myself an IQ point. I wanted to do this as an IQ point, but this math is like, there's so many decimal places in it. But we'll see. Maybe this will be like a partial IQ point, which we don't really do anymore. So I guess it is a full IQ point, but
we'll just round up.
We'll see. But I did what these increments are, and if his math was actually correct. Which, spoiler alert, he is correct, but I couldn't figure it out. But I found a lot of websites and a lot of like forums where people were talking about it and actually did the math and explained it and everything. It was just like, it's math because it's so hard because like there's 24 decimals. Like dot 0, 0, 0, 0, all the way to 24. Then you have to multiply that. It's insane. But a yoctometer is a multiple of the unit meter for length and distance. The International System of Units defines the prefix yocto as y as a factor of 10 to the negative 24. So it's 0 dot, then 23 zeros, and then 1. That's how big of a number it is, but that's how small it is too. And a femtosecond is 10 to the negative 15th of a second. So it's like, like beyond a fraction of a second, like the smallest fraction you could ever even think of.
A split of a split.
And to put this into context, I found this. I don't even know if it makes sense to me, but a ray of light travels approximately 0.3 micrometers in 1 femtosecond, a distance comparable to the diameter of a virus. So that's how small a femtosecond, or how quick a femtosecond is. That a ray of light only goes like 3 micrometers
at the speed of light. Wow.
Yeah, that's how small how quickly a femtosecond goes. So that's where I was trying to do the math backwards, and I just could not comprehend the femtoseconds and the yoctometer, like how they're going together. Because in my mind, it feels like it would go faster. Because if it's like fractions of a second, so you're telling me that like a second contains 10 to the negative 15, like, well, then you multiply that, so it would be like 10, whatever. Like, what's that? What's beyond trillion? Like, that's how many
something.
That's how many femtoseconds are in a second. So he's telling us that his hair is growing at a rate of 4.6 yoctometers per femtosecond. You'd think that in my mind, I know it's not correct, but in my mind, it feels like it's growing at a much faster rate, the way he's saying it. But it's not true, because according to like scientists out there, his description is very accurate.
Huh.
And I wrote something else down too. Because according to scientists, hair grows at 0.3 millimeters per day, which equates to about half an inch per month. But then when you break that down, apparently it's 4.6 yoctometers per femtosecond.
My question is, why do you think he talked in that time as opposed to just per second? Like, because per second is something that we could actually work with on a human level, right?
Yeah.
It's just trying to sound smart.
Yeah. And he could just feel it growing.
I feel like,
and didn't he say like if you're really quiet, you can hear it.
You can hear it.
He's just losing his mind. So that's what I have. So I guess it's up to us if you want to call that an IQ point. Because honestly, that's the only thing that I have this episode.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't get anything else, because everything else, I don't think I'm just not calling it an IQ point.
That's kind of where I'm at. Nothing else is really
because they just weren't substantial enough information for me to really warrant it. So honestly, like this could be the first episode where we have 0 IQ points.
They're all half. I think I have one that I would qualify. It's at least like a 0.75 IQ point, 3/4 of an IQ point. The other ones are probably half at best. So we can see where we get and decide at the end.
Okay. But that's what I have with that.
Interesting. When he talks about that, like, I just picture, have you seen American Werewolf in London?
No, I haven't.
It's, I forget the guy who directed it.
I do remember seeing the trailers a lot in high school or middle school. I feel like I saw the Wait, am I thinking of the right one? Because there is an old school movie, but then they had like, I don't know if it was a remake or a slightly different one in like the 90s.
It was a sequel called American Werewolf in Paris. And similar, almost like a reboot, slightly different. Much worse than American Werewolf in London. As a horror movie, it was kind of fun, some fun acting, some fun visuals and action. Not as scary as American Werewolf in London. And the effects in American Werewolf in London, the old school one, were real. They weren't CGI. And the Paris one was like all CGI, and it was at a time where CGI really sucked. So it looked bad, but the practical real effects from American Werewolf in London, fantastic. So you see the guy's like ribs like break and contort into wolf shape, and his hands like elongate into wolf paws and claws, and like you see hair like burst out of him and start growing, and like I'm just picturing the hair growing on the guy's face and back as Sheldon's like, you can hear my hair growing, like so that's what I was picturing. So Amy suggests that he should grow it out a little and maybe make it a little sexy with make him a little sexy with long hair, the type that blows in the wind as he rides a horse, bare back and bare chested. And she kind of looks around and says she has to go brush her teeth and it might take a while. You go, Amy. You know what you like.
Get it, girl.
Get it, girl. And Sheldon's just kind of confused and stays there. Now we're in Bernadette's room and she's FaceTiming, or I guess it would be Skyping at that time, right? FaceTiming with around with Howard, and he explains that his trip's going well, that he got to go into zero gravity, and basically it was on a plane that goes up, straight up for 20 seconds and straight back down like it's about to crash, and they do it over and over again to mimic zero gravity. And apparently it's really funny because when there's zero gravity, if you throw up, it just floats there in a ball. And sometimes if you're screaming, that throw up just goes right back in. That made me laugh really hard.
He was so positive as he was talking about it.
It just goes right back in. And everyone laughs and when that happens. And he said he would have laughed too had he not been afraid that the vomit might come back out. So sometimes it just flips there, it comes right back in. He asks Bernadette to overnight him some underwear because he's going into the centrifuge and they're going to spin him around and around, and he thinks he might have packed light on the underwear. I'm kind of confused by that because why wouldn't he just go out and buy some? I feel like overnighting it would be really expensive and much more of a hassle, especially if it's underwear he's probably just going to throw away anyways, like buy a 6-pack at Walmart.
I kind of thought about that too, and I kind of just assumed that his training schedule is like very like boom, 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 that he's not going to have time to go anywhere. Yeah. And he's probably in like a secure location where they probably won't let him leave.
That's fair. And
that's just kind of what I thought.
That's as good. You know, I was thinking with the schedule and being at least out in the middle of nowhere, not having time, that would make sense. But I was like, man, that's a lot of work for some undies.
There's an Amazon ad here in the future. Order on Amazon. We get anywhere in 2 days.
Anywhere.
Used to be
no matter what type
Amazon.
of accident. Just imagine, like, rough day at work, we've got your back. And seeing his face, like, ah!
Here's your underwear.
Here's your underwear. Nope, nope.
Oh, it's the wrong size. Don't worry. We have free returns.
Wink returns. Wink.
Look at that. We're advertising for Amazon with nothing in return.
Nothing in return. Just the goodness of our hearts.
Yeah.
So next scene, we're at the hospital and Sheldon is with his barber holding a teddy bear. The bear says, "Get well, Barry," soon on its shirt. Sheldon claims that there's studies that suggest people in comas can hear things around them. And so this is my first, this is the partial one. I don't think this qualifies, but I looked into this a little bit and apparently it's true. Not every single coma has ever been studied, and there's some that suggest more understanding during the coma, so maybe there's different levels of comas. But according to Talking to Comatose Patients by J. La Puma, D.L. Scheidemeyer, A.E. Gillis, and M. Sagler, they claim that talking to comatose patients is important for multiple reasons. One being that if you don't talk to them, if doctors don't talk to them, if family and friends don't talk to them, it becomes like a psychological issue where they're not talking to them because they assume they're already dead. So on the doctor's part, it's important to talk as if they are still alive to make them more human. It humanizes them. And yeah, if they don't do it and they basically treat them like they're already dead, it could become a self-fulfilling prophecy on treatment, and potentially even if they are hearing it, they assume that they're dead and may pass or may not fight. But also many patients have shown normal brainstem auditory evoked responses and normal physiological responses to auditory stimuli. And apparently from what I can understand, this is where this isn't I can't say it's a full IQ point because I didn't watch any videos of this or go talk to a doctor and watch it happen. But apparently fMRIs and EEGs have been used to study how people respond in coma. So basically hook people up to machines, a comatose patient up to a machine, and I don't know, play music or talk to them, and they are having the same responses as somebody not in a coma. So something's lighting up in their brain, and they are processing the audio stimuli, there we go, without necessarily opening their eyes. So something's going in and they are responding somehow. And I did look into some forums of people who claimed that they were in comas and could hear things. And one person said that they heard a voice and it was like they were in a dream, and the voice became associated with like some villain in their dream or a bad person. And they woke up and it was actually the intercom saying, "Nurse Jackie, come to the," it was like, they recognized the voice when they woke up and they're like, that was in my dream. And some other people claim that they heard their families talking to them, and when they woke up, they knew their families were there for them. I don't know if all comatose patients are the same way, if there's different levels or what, but it did seem people who were declared to be in a coma claim that they were hearing stuff to some degree. Plus, the EEGs and MRIs are showing auditory stimulation, and that their brains are lighting up in different ways as well. So he's right about that. But again, I don't think anybody really knows how it works or why it works or to what extent. So partial IQ point. That's what I got there.
I like that. I think we can call that one a full IQ point.
You think so? Maybe merge it with something. I don't know. It's there. But I did like hearing the research studies saying that it is useful to talk to comatose patients, lest you start thinking they're dead yourself and treating them like they're ready to pass. So Sheldon tells the barber to move away from the light and towards the sound of scissors, and starts clipping some scissors that he brought with him. And nurse comes in. We have another guest star, Varney Watson, as her name is Althea.
Yep, and apparently she's returning. This is like her third or fourth time,
right? I don't remember which episode she was in, but I'm like, she's been in it a couple times.
She was in the pilot.
She was, yeah. Oh, she was in the
first episode. Then when Howard got his the robot hand on his junk, that was her. Yep.
I like having her as a returning character. That's great.
Yeah.
She has been in some other stuff. Apparently, she's also in Young Sheldon, which I think is funny. I'm curious if she's the same character or a different nurse. Yeah. She's been in General Hospital a ton, a lot of single episodes of shows, and she apparently plays a character named Phyllis in Shrinking, which I've seen like 2 episodes of Shrinking. I didn't recognize her from that, but apparently she's in that as well.
Yeah, I love Shrinking. I think Shrinking is like probably one of the best shows on TV right now.
It was really good. Another one that I want to get back to, I just kind of forgot. But it's who's in it? It's Harrison Ford, right? And
Harrison Ford and Jason Segel.
Segel, yeah. And it was great acting and like not super comedy, but drama comedy. So some funny and kind of some interesting emotion. Yeah, good stuff. So I'll finish it and see if I notice her at all. Like, Sheldon then asks Althea for a cape, and the nurse, I love the expression on her face, says, did you spit your pills out and leave the 9th floor for a little adventure? And he's like, what? He says no. He's just there to get a haircut, of course.
As he's blowing the hair out of his eyes.
I'm going, I'm here for a haircut. The nurse turns and calls for security, and Sheldon tells his barber he has to run, but not with scissors because that would be unsafe. And I'm going to give myself a point here being like Sheldon, because I have stopped before when I've like had to rush somewhere and taken scissors and like turn them around my hand, like don't run with scissors. So I hold the sharp end down. That way I don't fall with them and stab myself.
That's good.
Don't run with. Can I spell run? There we go. Back at the apartment, Penny is learning to play chess. This is kind of a random throw-in. I thought it was funny, but she's learning to play chess, I guess. It's like her first time playing, and she moves her little horsey piece, and that's checkmate, and she wins, right? And Leonard is kind of looking around and is hesitant to admit anything. He's like, that's a good stopping point. And she goes, but I did win, right? And she points out that his king is stuck between her lighthouse and her pointy-headed guy. And she asks if she won. She basically wants him to admit that she won. And he says, it's about having fun. And because you had fun, you're a winner. Everybody's a winner if you had fun. Sheldon comes in and doesn't care that Penny is in his spot even. He just walks in. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll move. And he doesn't care. So something's breaking him a little bit. Leonard says between Penny winning at chess and Sheldon being okay with her being in her spot, he can only assume somebody's gone back in time, stepped on a bug, and changed the course of human events to change reality as we know it. Penny checks in on Sheldon knowing something's wrong, and he says that it's been 6 days since his hair, he's behind 6 days on needing a haircut, and nothing horrible has happened, so, the world's chaos. Leonard explains that Sheldon must be kind of crazy. Sheldon starts talking about, I put OCD as a waste of time, caring too much, and what does he say? Even like having a schedule of his bowel movements, there's no point in it. And I love Leonard says, okay, we can get this off the fridge, and crumples it up and throws it away. So I didn't realize that's what was on the fridge, but apparently it was Sheldon's bowel movements. Penny says it's nice not knowing what's going to happen, having some mystery in life. And she explains she and Leonard went out, they broke up, and now they're going out again. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And Sheldon looks at her and says, everybody knows what's going to happen. And do you think he means they're going to break up again?
I think so.
I think so too. I think they're not going to work out because I'm like, it's a romance comedy.
The look that they gave each other too was like, wait, what? What do you mean everyone knows?
Everybody knows what? Leonard says it's a good time to shake things up, and Sheldon's going to embrace chaos. He's going to wear his Tuesday pajamas tonight. Leonard says he's a little worried, but Penny says he shouldn't worry too much about that. He should worry more about the girl who's never played chess, who just kicked his ass. And yeah, maybe he should, but I'm curious. Are you good at chess? Do you like chess?
I like chess, and I'm terrible. And I will say, every time I teach Christina to play, she usually beats me because, it's because I'm guiding her too. Because it's almost like you're playing yourself. So one side is naturally going to win anyways. And I'm just trying to help her out and try to guide her through. And she usually ends up beating me. So that's how I am too. I beat myself all the time, and she beats me, and she's never played.
I get too impatient. Like, I like it, but I get like kind of bored, and like I got to do something, and I usually lose because of that because I'm not focused. And I usually bring my queen out way too early, and like there's a sign, like you can almost see it on my face. I'm like, I'm bored. Queen's coming out, bitches, and then she dies. I'm like, oh fuck. But like I don't usually play with like strategy in mind, and so like people who played me are like it's not necessarily that I'm good, but it's like we can't predict what you're gonna do because you're just chaotic. I'm like,
yep,
queen time.
That's like, right. And now I'm bored.
Now I'm bored. Back at Bernadette's room, she's talking to Howard again, and this is what really made me laugh. He's bung up, and he looks rough, and he's just smiling off camera. And she's like, hello? And he turns like, hi. I was just got back from survival training in the wilderness. It was big fun. He was going to freshen up, but he must have blacked out for a little bit.
The scene was so great.
He's like, his smile and looking off camera, like, what the? He's like, hi, where am I? Apparently, he had to dig a hole with his bare hands during camping. And at some point in the night, an armadillo curled up and spooned him. But he survived even through the sandstorm where he had to pull his turtleneck over so he could breathe. And he claims that he found that primal spirit that just wants to keep living and bear through it. And Bernadette says he's brave because I ate a butterfly.
Yeah.
And he starts crying.
Delivery is like, I ate a butterfly.
His eyes are like watering. He's like, it was small and beautiful, but I was so hungry. And she mentions too that it looks like he's crying. He's like, no, I don't think so. I'm too dehydrated. My pee is like toothpaste. So he's not doing well. Bernadette tells him to come home. It won't change how she feels about him, but he can't give up that chance of being an astronaut. She asks if she can help, and he's like, no. Wait, more underwear, please. He's going through those, and this is where my IQ point came in. Astronaut training. I didn't realize that astronauts went through survival training, and this got into that. And so I kind of broke down what they go through, and it was weird because I went to NASA.com and got a pamphlet, and the survival training actually wasn't on there. And so for a little bit, I was thinking that was made up. But we got astronauts do over 300 hours in simulators preparing for operations in the space units, in the space station or in the actual shuttle and rocket. So 300 hours there. They do computer-generated microgravity environments in virtual reality laboratories as well. So kind of mimicking what it would be like in space settings, especially for walks or testing out going outside of the shuttle, I suppose. And then it said at least 10 hours of underwater training for every hour they will be in space. And they go to the Sonny Carter Training Facility, which has the world's largest pool. It's called the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory, and it's used to simulate weightless in a weightless environment. So that got me thinking that do they even do the plane in 0G? But apparently that's just for training, like for certain simulations, 10 hours underwater for every hour of spacewalk. But they do also use a Gulfstream jet aircraft to mimic. I found that later. They also do over 1,000 approaches, it said, in a Gulfstream jet aircraft to mimic approach and landing of the shuttle. So they do a Gulfstream not for weightlessness, but for landing and practicing landing once they reascend into orbit or into the Earth's atmosphere. And apparently they all train, and give me a number on this, in T-38 jets, learning flight techniques and cockpit management. And so I didn't get the training facility from there or the outdoor training, and I didn't get the weightlessness in aircraft. But on Wikipedia, it does claim that NASA and U.S. astronauts ever since 1994 have been using a KC-135 stratotanker. So these are like the large planes that, my understanding, that fuel up other planes. That if they're flying, they fly up and they put like a little stick out, looks like a fuel penis, and they fill up another plane with it. And this plane does maneuvers that do simulate 20 to 25 seconds of weightlessness by dropping out of the sky, I suppose. I don't think it's straight up and straight down, but they do fly up really high and then just drop in these big stratotankers. I remember hearing, too, that's how Apollo 13 was filmed with Tom Hanks, that they didn't actually go into outer space. They just did these airplanes, and they got like 20 to 25 seconds of footage per like plane ride, and then they'd have to fly higher and drop again and do another 20 to 25 seconds. So if you ever see Apollo 13 and Tom Hanks is floating, I heard that's how they were able to manage that. And so I got that from Wikipedia, that they do the plane thing, even though NASA said that they do a lot of more underwater stuff. So I'm guessing it's probably cheaper to do underwater to simulate weightlessness a little bit more. According to Army.mil, military website, NASA does run candidates through the U.S. Army for survival, or what was called SEER School for U.S. Army's SEER School. There we go, which stands for Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape. Again, I didn't see that on Wikipedia. I didn't see it in NASA's website, but on army.mil. And I also was looking at one in England that ran their astronauts through stuff too, but it didn't really explain exactly what they get into, but it was what most people in the military have to go through. Anybody who might be stranded and waiting for rescue has to go through this. And it looks like they go through, from the English website that I saw, they go through fundamental camping, swimming, hunting, floating skills, and it didn't say this on the website, but I would assume climbing, because they all had like belays set up, and in the pictures, all the astronauts were climbing a rock wall. So basic training. I don't know if they learned to dig holes with their bare hands, but some experience in case they do get stranded and have to wait a while for rescue to come pick them up. I'm guessing crash landing type stuff. I'm not positive, but he's not wrong. It seems like that is real. I just couldn't get into depth about what that pertains exactly and why he would need to dig a hole with his hands. But it could be too that he got scared and just ran off on his own and dug a hole because he was terrified. So who knows?
Didn't he say it was because of the weather or like the sandstorm, so he had to find shelter? So I thought him having to dig a hole wasn't necessarily part of training. It was more like he did what he had to do to survive.
He just did it. That
dig.
could be.
And I think that's kind of like why they would have like survival training, because like if something should ever go wrong, they need to have that grit to like keep going and survive.
Yeah. And knowing how to do, especially with crash landings, but manage themselves, ration food or go without food, how to handle dirty water, how to, work with broken legs or whatever it might be, and form tourniquets. Although I'm always curious that like an emergency situation, how much of that sticks with you, because I feel like every year I try to take a CPR class through my school, and like in an emergency, I don't know if I'd remember. Like, I know it's like staying alive that you're supposed to pump and count to, but what if I fuck up? I'm like, we built this city like on a different time. Oh, God, that was completely wrong.
Yeah, because like when you're on the spot and anything could happen, your mind is like everywhere.
What song are you singing, Ryan? I don't know.
I do remember like it's a funny joke in How I Met Your Mother when they open up their bar Puzzles.
Yeah.
And like they get slammed and Barney's like, quick, Ted, what's in a gin and tonic? I don't know.
I don't know.
But I did have a moment like that when I first started bartending. Like when we got slammed, it was like panic mode. It was like, and I just could not think straight. I was like, oh my God, what do I do?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh God. Why are there so many people here?
That's why I like bartending in Nebraska, because like there were like only 3 drinks people orders, either like a gin and tonic, CC7, or whiskey and Coke, and like only like one person and I ordered anything else, and it was usually a martini. Like, okay, I can handle that. I'm like, if I had to do an actual bar like somewhere fancy, I'd be so fucked.
Yeah, I remember when I took like a certification class, we had to memorize 100 cocktails, and the guy was like, "You're never going to use 95% of these. You're going to be making a lot of rum and cokes, and slinging a lot of beers, pouring wines and everything like that. Like, you're never going to make a sea breeze. You're never going to make like all this like." Stuff. I remember it has I think it's cranberry, orange juice, and vodka. Is that a sea breeze? Maybe. Who cares?
Sounds right. It's like, what's the sex on the beach? Like peach, orange, and vodka or something? I don't know. Rum? I
don't know. But we ordered a lot of those just because it was funny. Like, oh,
it was funny.
Sex on the beach. Yeah.
Bartender's like, lemon fuck drops. You, I don't have that memorized.
Yeah. Well, lemon drops were on the list of memorize. Like, definitely memorize a lemon drop. I don't remember anymore, but
a woman's like, you make the dirtiest martinis. I'm like, As long as you're tipping, I'll make whatever you want me to, honey.
Yeah, girl, it'll be dirty. It'll be
Dirty,
3
dirty,
hours in that dirty.
I remember my ex-wife, my wife at the time, was like, "You make those as dirty as you need to. Bring home money."
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we are now in Leonard's bedroom. That was all for that IQ point. It's the middle of the night, and he hears bongo drums playing, and he goes to the living room, and Sheldon is playing some bongo drums. Apparently, he has bongo drums now, and Penny comes in. What the hell is going on? She's confused, and apparently she's hearing it in her bedroom as well. Sheldon mentions that he's like Richard Feynman, who played the bongo drums, and he wanted to give it a try to be crazy, right? And Leonard starts to explain that Richard Feynman was a physicist. I started to do an IQ point on this. I just got that.
We've
that
talked
was
about
true.
Richard Feynman before.
We have a little bit.
We have talked about him, and we have brought it up. And side note, not an IQ point, he really does play the bongos. And there is a video on YouTube where he's bongoing about orange juice. It is off the wall.
I didn't see that. Did we talk about him playing bongo drums before, or was it just
no?
His
We just talked about who he was. Yeah,
who it was. I didn't put those together. I did pick up that Jack Quaid played him in Oppenheimer. So the guy from The Boys, and he's been in a lot of stuff, but I always forget his name. But I do recognize him mostly from The Boys when he's the guy where the guy who's really fast runs through his wife or girlfriend, and she explodes all over his face. So his face is like the.
Did you finish The Boys? Did you finish The Boys?
I didn't. I think I'm on finish up the second season. How many are there? Like 4? Maybe I did
5, and it just finished this year. So at this point in time, it'll be over by like a month because it ended in May. And yeah, I won't say anything. We could talk about this offline, but I won't spoil anything or say anything.
It's
but
one I need to
watch. The series is over.
Leonard starts explaining, but Penny really doesn't care. She says that she wouldn't care if Feynman was a purple leprechaun who looked at her butt. Was a purple leprechaun because Sheldon chimes in and says Penny meant, and he sings this while he plays bongo drums, if he were a purple leprechaun, not if he was a purple leprechaun. She forgot to use the subjunctive. And I'm kind of surprised, again, with him quoting T.S. Eliot, mentioning subjunctive forms in English as well. It doesn't seem like his cup of tea, his particular, but I see this more than quoting T.S. Eliot, but both were kind of, those aren't his real. It seemed out of character or out of place for him, but, again, maybe.
Care or know this stuff. I guess he knows because I guess it's in quote basic grammar, but I guess it's not so basic because I didn't even catch that. I'm like, what's he talking about? I had to look into it. I was like, what?
And that's what I did my next IQ point on. This again is pretty much a partial. I honestly don't completely understand subjunctive. I feel like I loved my editor, my mentor when I was going to grad school because he was great at catching this shit and trying to explain it to me. And this is one where he's like, I don't know. It just is. And it's basically, it's not a verb tense. It is a mood to express context. That subjunctive expresses wishes and desires that aren't real. And this compares to, what was it? I always forget the names of all this too. Compared to the indicative, which states facts. And it says, I got most of this off Grammarly. It actually has a really cool list of like a flow chart of, do you wish to talk about something real or unreal? And it's like, yes or no. And it takes you different ways down the flow chart in different moods to express yourself. But this usually comes as a bare form of a verb or in a finite clause. Be and were are used as linking verbs usually for this. English doesn't have a specific subjective verb form, so I guess other languages it's probably a little bit clearer to identify this, and we just do different things with our already existing verbs that fall into this criteria to be named a subjective form. That's probably where we understand what it is, but we don't necessarily know how it works because we just know it sounds right, which may be why it's so confusing because we use the same verbs over and over again. And it doesn't even there's not even hard set rules like remove an S to make it subjunctive because there's so many irregular verbs, and irregular verbs are the ones that get used most often. But I did get that there's 3 types of this, I guess. There's the hypothetical, which is the most common, conditional subjunctive. So based on conditions and hypothetics, it gets subjective forms. Demands, which are mandative subjunctive, and then formal formulaic expressions, so just expressions. And some examples of these are for the conditional would be, if I were you, you would say were as opposed to if I was you. And we know that sounds weird, but we just automatically know to use were because I'm not you. I'm saying, hypothetically speaking, I would say, if I were you, I'm not you, so I can't say was. And different things like if I were to win the lottery. Although that gets confusing too, because it's like, if you're saying if I were to win the lottery, that's saying that it's not going to happen. It's just hypothetical. But if you're saying if I was to win the lottery, that's saying it's fact, like I'm going to. And then it gets into some real nitpicking decisions of, is this fact or potentially fact or completely hypothetical wishful thinking? And that became a whole discussion with my editor, my mentor, and he's like, I don't know, Ryan, just do what I say or do what you want. I don't really fucking care. He's a great guy. He works.
Take Raj's advice. Follow your heart.
Follow your heart. And then for the mandative subjunctive, this is following verbs of demand, usually coming up in dependent clauses. So basically it's not the main part of the sentence, it's like a secondary part. And the example that I was given is the board demanded that she submit her resignation. So by itself, we would say she submitted her resignation. But since the board demanded it, the board demanded that she submit her resignation. We wouldn't say the board demanded that she submitted her resignation. It changes tense because it's now subjective. It's mandated subjunctive, a slightly different form. The formal expression, the examples I was given is, be it as it may, or God save the queen. We don't say God saved the queen or God saves the queen. We could say God save the queen. Like it's a different conjugation simply for the saying, I guess. And why I know straight up logical rules of how and why we do this for certain words and certain forms. But again, as native English speakers, we know to do that. And it's probably something that comes up and will continue to be issues for people learning English, just because to me, it seems chaotic. And I guess we know it, but it seems chaotic. But yeah, hopefully that makes a little sense of what he was talking about. Subjunctive is a mood expressing it's not real. It's not actually happening. It's usually hypothetical or wishful thinking. It's also one of the hardest things I've tried to manage in teaching English, and it's something I'm like, I don't know. My editor didn't know. His editor, nobody really knows. Probably somebody does, but he's right that because Feynman was not a purple leprechaun looking at Penny's butt, she should say if he were, not if he was. All right, moving forward. So I can't say that was a full IQ point either. Like, I don't feel like I really said anything, but it was a partial out there. I just kind of summarized some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to talk at the very end of this to see what we're going to count as IQ points.
This episode is about chaos, and that's what we found.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard tells Sheldon to go to bed. There's work in the morning. And he brings up a good point. The roommate agreement claims there shall be no hootenannies, sing-alongs, or barbershop quartets after 10 p.m. And it's like 3 in the morning. And Sheldon brings up, we're living in a world of chaos. The roommate agreement doesn't matter. So he just gets up and leaves, and he's going wherever the music takes him, starts walking down the stairs playing the bongos, and you hear him tumble down. So he shouldn't have been playing the bongo drums as he was walking. Now we're at Howard's hotel, and Bernadette has come to the door to help him get through his trial. She wants to be there for him, very romantic, and she comes in just in time to hear his mom calling from the other room. So kind of awkward. But he claims once his mom falls asleep, he's going to spoon Bernadette just like an armadillo. So it's all going to work out.
Do you think that Howard called her, or do you think Mrs. Wolowitz took it upon herself to show up?
I think she took it upon herself to show up. I think he was complaining to her too, just like Bernadette, and they both, because they're so similar, they both showed up.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I was thinking the same. I was thinking the same thing. Like, he was probably just going through the same spiel, and Mrs. Wolowitz just dropped everything without question.
Yeah. Like, my baby.
One. Yeah.
But I do have a picture that he probably has one bed in there and they're sharing it, which is kind of messed up, which is why they have to wait for her to fall asleep.
Yeah. oh God. Didn't even think about
that. Right. Now we're at Amy's apartment and Sheldon's sleeping on the couch. He showed up in the middle of the night with bongos, and Amy thought it was just a strange music booty call because she was naive, apparently. Leonard hits the bongos and screams and makes Sheldon wake up. Amy gives Leonard a look and is like, that was uncalled for. And Leonard says, it was so called for. And I give myself a point here for being like Leonard, because I am
vengeful.
I am vengeful. Not overly so, but I would play bongo drums to wake up someone in revenge. I don't think I get mean, but I do know that Kelsey will play tricks on me, and she knows I'll remember things for a long time and try to get revenge. I'll go, okay, and we have a term. It's psychological warfare now. And her face will go pale and go, I am so sorry for doing that to you. I never should have pulled a prank on you, Ryan. I'm like, no, we're in the game now. You just wait.
Everything's fine, baby. You have nothing to worry about.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put the child down and go to sleep. Nothing bad will happen to you.
It's 3 p.m. Go to sleep. You need a nap. You're looking tired. But yeah, I hold that one close to my heart. Penny tells Sheldon to come home so she can cut his hair. She's going to do it for him. He says she's not trained and doesn't have access to his haircut records. And that's where I made a note that when he goes, and you don't have access to my haircut records, her face is like, she kind of looks down, and Lerner's looking straight down too. So I don't know if he's cracking a smile, but she kind of cracks one too. And it's, again, I think her character, it's okay, but I think she did crack a little bit. Love her facial expressions. She claims they've known each other for a long time. She's taken him to Disneyland. She kicked a bully in the nuts for him. And she sings him soft kitty when he's sick. He's even seen her naked once. And Leonard's like, what? Wait, what? What's that story? Penny promises she knows what she's doing and she'll take good care of him with the haircut. And Sheldon looks at Amy saying, what do you think? And Amy says there's not a hair on her body she wouldn't let Penny trim. And they all kind of look at each other like, what? So she's going there again. They get up and start to leave. Sheldon thanks Amy for letting him sleep on the couch. And I like her line saying, there's only so many times a woman can say how about the bed. So apparently she was trying to coax him into the bed and couldn't get him there. Leonard asks about Sheldon seeing her naked as they walk away, and Sheldon says, relax, it was just her bottom and her breast. So it was fully naked, but it was just the buttocks and the breast. Not a big deal. At Penny's apartment, Sheldon is getting his hair cut, and Sheldon says his barber used to tell a dirty joke at the end of the haircut. And Penny says, I don't know any. And Sheldon's fine with that because he never understood the dirty jokes anyways. It was just customary, so that's okay. Penny is finished. Sheldon says it's looks at himself in a mirror and says it's a little like Hollywood, but it's good, so he's okay with it. It's a little too Hollywood-esque, even though it looks exactly the same. She says it's time to clean up his neck and takes out some clippers and starts shaving the back of his neck, buzzing the back of his neck. And apparently that tickles him and makes him laugh. And so he shakes her off. The first time he's like, okay, and starts doing it again. But the second time it goes up a little far. And you see by her expression, she fucked up his hair a little bit, but just goes, all right, we're done here. And he goes, thank you. And as he leaves, you see there's like a big square out of the back of his neck at the neckline. Maybe if he comes back in 4 days, she can fix it. But it's there, and hoping nobody will say anything. And that's the end as he walks away. And now we are on the vanity card. And this is weird. I couldn't tell a difference, but it is Chuck Lorre Productions 186. And the website I got mine from so I could read it says 186R. And I'm not exactly sure what the R stands for because, like,
redo, I think, because
redo
in the screenshot that I took, it's called Zen Noir, and then in parentheses, it's redo.
So
I hope I'm saying that right. It's REDUX.
That's how I was pronouncing it too.
Redo? Okay.
Redo. On the website I was on, like when you load the website, it started off with the original without the R. And then like it quickly like overlaps and loads this new one with the R. So I don't know why that is, but if you look it up on I think Tumblr or something, there's several websites you can look at. Not all of them have this R. I think most of them have the redo, but I think the website that I looked at added the R, so you know it's the redo, not the original. Not positive, though. But anyways, the hardest, or Zen Noir redo, the hardest journey in the one which leads to the truth. I didn't know that when I began my little midnight ramble. If I had, I probably would have stayed home, drank myself stupid, and watched Ferguson until the big nod closed my book for the day. But here I was, standing outside her house, looking up at her bedroom window while a cold rain whipped me in the face like I'd somehow pissed it off. I could see her kissing him. I could see her as she slowly descended beneath the window frame. I could see him too. He just stood there smiling like the canary who got eaten by the cat. But when the funny thing happened while I was dancing the voyeuristic bebop in my terribly trendy bright green plastic shoes, I found myself thinking that the aching loneliness I was feeling had its roots in something much deeper than being 86 to a one-bedroom efficiency in the Marina, by a dame who digs deep into the degrading big bang bang in order to make up for the emotionally distant father. No, this was the pain of existential separateness, the false sense that one is fundamentally apart from people, things, life, the whole damn universe. In a blinding flash, I realized that what I was really experiencing was the result of a lifelong indoctrination by a culture which elevates individualism above all else, thus causing a soul-crushing sense of aloneness which demands over and under the counter medication, the constant distraction of sporting events, TV, major motion pictures, and a pop tabloid religion based on celebrity worship crucifixion. Of course, this epiphany did not deter me from pulling the Roscoe out from my fanny pack and getting into the house to TC of B. As I crossed up the stairs, I could feel my wet tube socks squishing through the little round holes of my polyester Crocs. Dang.
You had a very long one.
That was wow.
Yeah.
Some alliteration and poetic writing in there. I don't really exactly. I thought this might be a retelling of Mr. Brightside, where I'm calling a cab. Now she's taking off her dress. Now he takes off her dress.
The Killers.
The Killers, yeah. But I don't think so. I don't know. God damn. That was a hard one. But did he go in to kill them? Is that where this ended? I don't know. I don't know.
Nothing. It's like T.S. Eliot. I got nothing.
I got nothing. Eat a peach. I don't know.
Yep. Well, I thought that this was a great episode.
Again, it didn't offer a whole lot. Howard's getting ready for space, but some great interactions. I love Penny and Sheldon, and had some funny laughs, even for not a whole lot going on, just a haircut.
Yep.
And again, Howard's face when he blacks out, fucking hilarious.
Howard was great in this episode.
Blacked out.
All right, so we have 3 IQ points. And then did your Sheldon points go up at all?
1 on each side, so 147 to 148. I am Sheldon-esque right now, but 1 point on both sides.
All right.
I am vengeful like Leonard, but I don't run with scissors like Sheldon.
There it is, yeah. You're a very safe, vengeful person.
Although I do like...
Safety first, Finn.
As soon as Sheldon stops being safe and plays bongo drums, he falls down the stairs. So there's a reason for it. Better be safe than sorry.
Yep, very true. All right, anything else to add?
That's all I got.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Don't forget to email us at theoreticalnonsencepod@gmail.com. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out. Like and subscribe on YouTube, and we will see you next time on Season 5, Episode 19, The Weekend Vortex. See you then.
See ya.
This was Theoretical Nonsense, the Big Bang Theory watch-along podcast. No PhD required. Our intro and outro music is by Alex Grohl. Thanks for listening. That's right. And now I'm bored.